Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. It is week 3 of football. We have the 3 records you could possibly have in this podcast: 0-2, 101, 2-0. Here with Moody and Isaiah. How we doing today, guys?
Who's 2-0 again? This team right here, my team, the team that wasn't going to break their over-under total. 2-0 right here, looking to go 3-0, maybe 4-0, possibly 5-0. I'm not going to get too bold yet, but that's where we headed. How y'all doing?
I think you should pump the brakes a little bit right there, Isaiah. But overall, doing pretty good, Eric. I can't believe we're already in week 3. The football season go by fast.
Yeah, it do. All right, let's get it started. These 1 o'clock games. We'll start with my game. New Orleans heading to Carolina. New Orleans minus 2.5, over under 41.
Yeah, judging from the rumors and stuff that we're hearing about and the way these two teams match up, this is probably Matt Rule's last coached NFL football game, and it's really, really sad to see. But Panthers on a 9-game regular season losing streak. They haven't won in a very long time. They're mostly healthy. McCaffrey dealt with some injury issues throughout the week, but I think he's good to go this week. Panthers have a decent roster. The offensive line isn't very good, but the Panthers have a decent enough roster to compete. They should be winning more football games than what they are. It just seems like they need a new voice in that locker room. So they're fighting for desperation right here. If they don't win, Matt Rule's probably out. For New Orleans, Jameis Winston, he's got 4 fractures in his back. They missed out with Kamara last week. He would have been a game changer for them against the Bucs. Without him, they just couldn't move the ball well enough on offense. And you saw how that played out. Bucs might have the best defense in the league. But New Orleans, I think we still all respect their defense and their talent they have. And Winston and those guys on offense should be good enough to be able to get the job done here. I'm going to take the Saints to win and the cover on the road in Carolina. What's the over-under?
41.
41? Sheesh, that's really low. I think both of these teams have enough offensive talent to hit that over, so I'll take the over.
Yeah, I'm in. You go ahead, Isaiah.
Yeah, I was going to say I echo everything that Moody said. I just think the Saints defense is a little bit better, can carry them. I expect Baker Mayfield and Jameis Winston to have a turnover battle to see who could have the more worst interceptions. But I'll take New Orleans because I just saw them shut down Tom Brady all game. As long as Marshawn Lattimore, who was the best player on the field last week until he got ejected, is playing, I think New Orleans will be okay. He'll match up against DJ Moore. He'll take him out of the game. And so I'll also go with Moody. I'll take New Orleans to cover the 2.5, and I'll take the over as well.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you guys. I'm in Panthers tank to get a quarterback mode.
It's week 3. It's week 3. We talking about tanking in week 3?
You got to start it right away, Isaiah.
I don't care.
Nip it in the bud right away.
I don't
Take away
care.
the hope.
We have weapons on offense. Like we have the worst quarterback play the last 2 years, and it's not even close. It's so pitiful. It's hard to watch. All right, let's get off now. All right, so we have Cincinnati going to MetLife. Cincinnati minus 6, over under 45.
Hey, we know that Cincinnati struggles to play at the Meadowlands against the New York Jets, against backup quarterbacks. This has been a bugaboo for them over the last year, just not taking teams seriously enough, not being able to handle their business when they need to. They struggled with that last year. Their offensive line still looks the same as last year. It's been really, really bad. Joe Burrow's been getting absolutely ran over for 8 quarters. Their offense has struggled to move the ball. Jamar Chase is still Jamar Chase. T. Higgins is still great. Joe Mixon is still solid, leading the league in carries. But they just have to get themselves together and get out of their own heads as far as taking teams seriously, just showing up and proving to be the team that they need to be for Cincinnati. For the Jets, shocking win last week, to say the least. They were down 14 with 3 minutes to play. Busted coverage touchdown, onside kick, touchdown again. We go home with a victory. A very Browns loss and a very surprising Jets victory all around has the Jets fans feeling good. They're at home, right? Jets are at home?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6-point underdogs at home. That's really, really rough to see. It feels like
they're going against the defending AFC champions.
Who just
and they're the worst team in the AFC. So I mean, I'd hope that the defending AFC champions will be our favorite versus the worst team in the AFC.
This is the team that's lost to Cooper Rush and Mitch Trubisky the first 2 weeks of the season. So that's and this is the same team that lost to Mike White and the New York Jets last year. So Cincinnati don't have they play up the competition and they also play down the competition. So you always have to worry about that. But this feels like a breakout game for their offense. The Jets aren't very good at rushing the passer. Their secondary outside of Sauce Gardner is man at best. I don't really trust them to be able to guard Chase and Higgins across the board. Mixon is still a threat there as well. And the Jets offense, I don't think will have as much success as they had against the Browns last week, who just didn't take them seriously enough down the stretch of the game. I'll take the Bengals to cover against the Jets on the road, and I'll take the over. I think the Bengals offense is a big day.
Yeah, I'll go Cincinnati. I think there'll be a letdown from the Jets comeback last week as well. And I think Cincinnati is going to be really amped up because they need to start winning games if they want to go back to playoffs. So I think this is a simple hungry dog runs faster, and Cincinnati really needs a win here. So I'll go Cincinnati -6, and I think the Jets will score enough to hit this over.
Yeah, I agree with you guys that I'm going to go with Cincinnati and the over, but I'm scared because I could see a scenario where the O-line for the Bengals is so terrible that they allow the Jets to rush the passer effectively against them. But I'm gonna against my better judgment take the Bengals to cover. Hope they get back on track. They just haven't looked really good, and I'm gonna say if they lose this game, Zach Taylor's job will start to come in question because he really wasn't the reason they went to the Super Bowl last year, and he looks like his coaching and his inability to come up with schemes that protects the quarterback, their thirst for the deep play has come back to bite him. It's going to cost Joe Burrow hits that he didn't deserve to take already so early, but I'll take the Bengals to get right, hopefully. And if it doesn't, hit that panic button because that AFC is not something you want to fall behind in right now.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's move on. Let's go to South Beach, Miami, hosting the Buffalo Bills. I think this is the game of the 1 o'clock slate. Buffalo -4.5, over under 53.
Yeah, I'll go first because I'm shockingly we didn't get to talk about last week's comeback from the Dolphins, an amazing second half effort from them, a choke job by the Ravens for sure, but Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle look like the most explosive players in the league, and they're on the same offense. They've got Tua, who played a great game, best game of his life by far. I don't know if it was as great as people are making it out to be, but still a great game. I've seen Mr. Trubisky and Matt Flynn throw 6 touchdowns before, but that's neither here nor there, but good job for them. But I'm actually going to take Buffalo to cover and win this. I'm actually going to take Miami to cover and win this game because I don't believe Buffalo is going to just 6-0 the division. So if someone's going to beat them, it's going to be this week. And if Miami don't beat Buffalo in this game, then Buffalo's going to really run through the whole AFC. But I'll take Miami to win in an upset, and I'll take the over because this should be ridiculously explosive.
Yeah, I think we're looking at not just the game with the 1 o'clock, but just the game of the week. Like, this is going to be awesome. 2 of the best teams in the AFC going after each other. That secondary in Buffalo's beat down. It's Micah Hyde just got sent on IR. He's out for the season. Trey White still isn't back. Jordan Poyer's dealing with injury issues. It's a lot of question marks going on in that secondary. They've managed to be really, really good on defense despite injuries for a while now, but we know what happens when Buffalo sees Tyreek Hill. There is no margin for error, and I think that will continue to be the same way this week. I agree with Isaiah. This is all about Miami. I think Miami definitely gets the cover and the victory here. Tua's playing at a high level right now. Mike McDaniel is scheming it up in the most elite way possible. Buffalo will not be able to sit back in that cover 2 and think the ball won't go over their heads just because it's Tua. They're in Miami at home. This is as good an opportunity as they're going to get to knock off Josh Allen and the Bills. Maybe as good as opportunity as anybody all season. So I'll take Miami here to cover, and I'll take the over. This should be a touchdown.
Yeah, we're all on the same page. I don't think Buffalo is going 17-0. So they're going to have to drop some of these games. And what better than a September game in Miami? I have Miami. I'm going to take the under. So it's our first different pick so far. I will go the under. The under loved me in week 1. That strategy was beautiful. All right, let's keep it moving. Kansas City going to Indianapolis. Kansas City -5.5, over under 50.5.
talk about another head coach in the hot seat, Mr. Frank Wright in Indianapolis.
I told y'all.
This is a tough week 3 to be on the hot seat that he is with Kansas City coming to town. It's not great. Michael Pittman should be back. Alec Pierce should be back. I think Shaquille Leonard got ruled out, so that's a bummer for them. But overall, Matt Ryan should have most of his weapons available to him too. They got to at least keep it close. They can't get blown out here. Indianapolis looks really, really bad right now. They're in a position where they have to find a way to win. They really need to win the game, but at least keeping it competitive to keep your job for another week, Frank Wright. That's what you have to find a way to pull off here. Get the ball into Jonathan Taylor's hands. Try to keep the game close. Keep the ball away from Patrick Mahomes. For the Chiefs, game plan the same as usual. Gus Bradley's the new defensive coordinator in Indianapolis. He's going to play Seattle cover 3. We know what Patrick Mahomes does for Seattle cover 3. He did it to the Raiders and Gus Bradley last year. I'm expecting the same thing this year. Patrick Mahomes going to have an explosive offensive performance. I'm going to take the Chiefs to win handedly here on the road against Indianapolis. I just think that the chemistry just looks too broken from the offensive side. Matt Ryan looks like he might be about done over there. The offensive line isn't even as good as it used to be. Quentin Nelson's their only real threat on the offensive line to make to get some push. So yeah, I think Kansas City goes on the road to Indianapolis and do what they usually do to Indianapolis, and that's stomp them out. So I'll take the Chiefs. And I'll take the over. Patrick Mahomes gets the cover 3 defense. 35 points automatic.
Yeah, I mean, the Colts have shown problems that I said they had at the end of last season all the way to this year. O-line is not as strong as people think it is. It's really Quentin Nelson, and they still have a massive hole at left tackle, and they still have a lack of explosive weapons. I like Alec Pierce. I like Michael Pittman, but those guys aren't going to scare you with speed. So, and Matt Ryan's arm, I think Matt Ryan's probably the worst quarterback they've had of the last 3 years, not 4, because Brissett's won more games in Cleveland than Matt Ryan has this year. So Matt Ryan might be the worst quarterback they've had of all the guys they've rotated through the last few years, which is what's setting them back, is that they have a different quarterback every year. So Frank Wright's seat gets hot, and they're hotter and hotter. I could say Indiana has a chance because, I mean, they're home, but I'm going to take Kansas City, the dog walk them, cover the points, hit the over. I'm sure we'll see some nice plays from Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I agree. My cold take is getting colder and colder. So I'll just take Kansas City and the over. Moving on.
It's so early.
All right.
So early.
Huh?
It's only September, Eric. It's only September.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep it moving. Philadelphia -6.5 in our nation's capital. Over under 47.5.
The first of the NFC East division battles for the weekend to get it going. It's not the NFC East this year. The NFC East has been causing problems for the rest of the NFL as they usually do. I'm excited for this one. Philadelphia,
or are they playing the AFC South?
Cincinnati don't play in the AFC South. They have problems too. This is a big one, especially for Philadelphia. Philadelphia's looked awesome the first couple of weeks against the Lions and the Vikings. Offensive line looks like the very, very best in the NFL. Jalen Hurts has all day to throw the ball. A.J. Brown's making a ton of plays in the secondary. They haven't even really gotten Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert going yet. They're just a complete offense all around. They've looked fantastic. And then defensively, Darius Slay, James Bradbury, they've been able to play more man coverage, stickier coverage instead of just playing that soft zone. And it's really, really helped their defense limit offenses in an even better way. Philly might be the most complete team in the NFC, and with the Micah Hyde injury, they might be the most complete team in the NFL. But going on the road in a tough environment on a terrible field in Washington, Carson Wentz, he's got very up and down play. You know he's going to look like a top 10 quarterback for half the game, and for the other half of the game, he'll look like Nathan Peterman because that's just what he does. But he's got a bunch of weapons out there to be able to combat Philadelphia's secondary. I think Washington's defensive line is talented enough to at least cause some problems for Philadelphia's offensive line. So I like Washington. I think Philly will win because I think they're the better team, but I like Washington to cover here. I think 6.5 points is way too much for a road division opponent. That Philly is good, but I don't think they're that good. And 47.5, I'll take the over. I think Washington will be able to score points, and I fully expect Philly to light the scoreboard.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Carson Wentz revenge game angle. I think, like Moody said, or like Eric said earlier, the Bills aren't going to go undefeated. The Eagles aren't going to go undefeated no matter how good they are. So you're going to have to scratch some L's onto the record for them. I'm going to actually I like Washington's chance to win at home and in the divisional game. Like what he said, I feel it's sloppy. It doesn't bode well for a fast-paced offense, even though, Philadelphia's going to run in the ball. We'll see how they are. Get those deep spikes in your cleats for this game. But I'll take Washington to cover and win. I'll take Washington to win too. I think Carson Wentz gets his revenge on the team that passed him along. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be an exciting game. It's two explosive offenses going at it. So I'll take the over easily.
We haven't gotten off the side. I have Washington 6.5 is too much for a division game, especially being at home. I think the Eagles are getting overvalued at 6.5. But I will take the under. Moody, you took the over?
Yes, I took the over.
Okay. All right, let's keep it moving. The cover gods, they did something they haven't been able to do. They covered as a favorite last week. A little bit tougher of a bet this week. This Detroit at Minnesota -6 for the Vikings. 52.5 is under over.
Yeah, I mean, the Lions shocked me last week. I mean, they still did some Lions things, allowing Washington to get back into that game. But Jared Goff probably played one of the best games of his career, easily. With no, Moody said he wanted to see Jared Goff play good without Sean McVay. There goes Jared Goff throwing 4 touchdowns without Sean McVay. And I will say he's probably lucky to find a go-to target in Mr. Amon-Ra St. Brown, who looks like he's headed for an all-pro caliber season. They do some Deebo Samuel stuff with him too. What a find in the 4th round. And but I just think Minnesota, I'm going to keep the trend going of taking division rivals at home. So I'm going to take Minnesota to win, but I can't get off the cover guys' boat. I'm going to take Detroit to cover, and I'll take the over. This will be probably the most explosive game. This could easily be 35-31 type of game. So I'll take that. I'm excited to see this one.
I'm gonna go Minnesota. I'm gonna hop off the cover gods for a week. We'll see what happens next week. I just think the Vikings at home. They lost last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they weren't. They were against that terrible Eagles game they had on Monday night.
Yeah. So I think they have a bounce back performance here at home to get back on the winning track, and I will take the over as well.
Yeah, I like Detroit here. Even though it's Kirk Cousins local time, 1:00, you expect him to put on a much better performance than he did in prime time. But I think Detroit's got a really good football team over there. I think their ability to run the football will be too much for Minnesota defense to stop. I expect DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams to hammer them for 4 quarters, and Amon-Ra St. Brown just making those sneaky first down catches, explosive touchdown plays that are putting the Lions over the top. Minnesota, they'll be able to put up points here. I expect a lot better performance from Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins, who had a hard time against Darius Slay and that Eagles defense last week. At home, they'll be in a more comfortable environment. But hey, Detroit beat Minnesota. Minnesota was one of Detroit's victories last year. I think that'll repeat this year on the road. I think Detroit's got a lot of momentum. I think they're better coached. And I think they're just going to bring a physical element that Minnesota can't match. So I'll take the cover gods to cover, and I'll take the over. I expect both teams to put up a lot of points.
Dang, y'all haven't taken a single under yet. Neither one of you.
It's looking like an explosive week, Eric.
All right, let's keep it moving. Las Vegas is coming into Nashville to face the Titans. Vegas is 1.5-point favorites, over under 45.5. I'll do this one first. I'll do Las Vegas -1.5. I think I need to see another game of elite Derrick Henry before I nominate the Titans to be anything. And I know the weapons that the Raiders have that can put up points. So I'm going to take the Raiders, and I will take the under 45.5.
Yeah, this is a make or break season game between two teams that are 0-2, that both have playoff aspirations, and it's tough. I'm going to rock with Tennessee because I just like their coaching and culture better. I also that the Raiders coaching and defense I thought the Raiders defense was going to be bad, but the pass rush isn't even as problematic as people thought it would. Chandler Jones looks like he might be washed up, but Max Crosby's still doing his thing. But Max Crosby's the only above average defensive player they have on that defense. So that's the reason why they've struggled. They let Kyler Murray to dominate them in that comeback win last week. And then Derek Carr has not been playing that good. And I think I like Ryan Tannehill as a better quarterback than Derek Carr. So I like the coaching, culture, and quarterback better in Tennessee. I think Tennessee saves their season at home. So I'm going to go with Tennessee. And what's the over-under?
45.5.
I'll go under because that's the only way Tennessee can win this game.
What a fall for Tennessee. The AFC 1 seed last year is a home underdog to an 0-2 football team. West Coast traveling East Coast at 10 a.m. That's absolutely unbelievable. That's the position that Tennessee's been put in at this point. But it looks warranted from the way they've struggled the first couple of weeks. Derrick Henry looks like a shell of himself. Running backs coming off that Jones fracture. You just know how it is. That usually is the beginning of the end. Tennessee's offensive line is in shambles. Taylor Lewan's injured. I don't know if he's going to play this week, but they just have a lot of injuries that they're dealing with on that offensive side of the football. I like Vegas here. I think Vegas is more likely to stave off the 0-3 pit and make a push to the playoffs than Tennessee is. I think Vegas is a better football team. There's nobody in Tennessee's back in the guard Devontae Adams. I think he can get up to 20 targets in this one, have a very explosive game. I think they'll be able to mix Josh Jacobs in there and control the game with their offense, and then get after Ryan Tannehill on defense. All you have to do is load the box to stop Derrick Henry at this point. I don't know if he's the same guy. He has to, like Eric said, he has to prove that to everybody. So I'll take Vegas to get the victory here on the road. Cover, and I'll take the over. I think Vegas Raiders will be able to find enough points to hit this.
All right, let's keep it moving. Baltimore heading to New England. Baltimore -2.5, over under 44. This is my lock of the week. Baltimore is going to wax the floor with New England, I think. I think 2.5, you're getting the Baltimore Ravens at a discount at 2.5.
Oh wow!
And I'll take the under.
Another in a very consistent theme. Another home underdog that is fighting federalized. The New England Patriots 1-1 going up against Baltimore. Baltimore just had Baltimore played good football last week for the most part. They had a couple of bad coverage busts against Tyreek Hill.
I saw Eric's man, who's supposed to be so rangy, leaving Tyreek Hill wide open in the back end.
They had a couple of coverage busts. They left Tyreek Hill, got behind him. Tyreek Hill gets behind everybody. You hate to see it. The bigger problem was their inability to score some points in the fourth quarter after they did it the first 3 quarters easily the whole time. The Baltimore can't run the football either outside of Lamar Jackson scrambling. That's become a really, really weak part. They really don't have any talent in the backfield. But
I think
J.K. All-Day Dobbins is back, and I think that will be the push to get Baltimore over the top here in what I think will be a more competitive football game in Gillette than Eric is saying. But I like Baltimore here. They're just a better football team all around. Bill Belichick doesn't have an answer for a Lamar Jackson type of quarterback. He's going to make all the plays that he needs to. I don't trust their secondary to limit them to make explosive plays. And I think Baltimore will get their run offense back under control. And for New England, I don't know what they're doing on offense. And their receivers come out and say it every week. We don't know what the plan is. How can I trust a team to beat a Baltimore football team that doesn't know what they're doing on the offensive side of the football? I like Mac Jones, but he really has nothing around him. His number 1 receiver, Jacoby Myers, is questionable with an injury this week as well. I just think that's too much for them to overcome. Bill Belichick coaching aside, I'll take Baltimore, who's never going to be afraid to play in New England, to win and to cover, and I'll take the under.
What's the over-under? 44?
44.
I'm going the other way.
The kids taking tallies at home.
I'm going the other way. I'm going to believe in the Patriots' ability to play their fishy, suspect, home field advantage tricks at home. I think Bill Belichick will be coaching his ass off. I also believe that Baltimore's injuries in their secondary and offensive interior line is going to be perfect to help the Patriots stay even. So I'm going to take the Patriots to win and cover, and definitely take the under because there's no way the Patriots are winning this game if they let Lamar Jackson go berserk. So I'm going to take the Patriots and ride with Bill Belichick and the Patriots' home field advantage.
Yeah, the weather should be fine. So Belichick doesn't have access to the weather machine this week.
So far.
Yeah.
So far.
40% chance of rain. on
Yeah, we'll
Sunday.
wake up tomorrow morning. It'll be snowing.
All right, let's keep it moving. Probably, I won't say brutal. Houston at Chicago. Chicago favored at -3 over under boys 39.
Yeah,
39.
this
Yeah,
stinks. This stinks. This stinks. I don't even know. I've gone back and forth about this all week. I have no idea who's going to win this football game. These are two of the worst teams in the NFL going after it. Justin Fields isn't even allowed to throw the football in Chicago, apparently, even if they're down 3 possessions. Somehow they left the game with only 11 total passing attempts. There's nothing to be happy about. They stole a game from San Francisco in a monsoon. It looked fine. Trey Lance was struggling in his first big time start, but now I think they've come back down to earth. We saw it against Green Bay last week. They can't stop the run. We still don't. Their secondary is decent, but not great. I think Brandon Cooks will be able to take advantage of that as well. I like Houston here. I think Houston's a better coached football team. I think Houston's a more talented football team on both sides of the ball. I think Houston will find a way to get the job done here on the road pretty comfortably. I'll take Houston to win, to cover, and the under.
yeah, I'm gonna go with the Lovie Smith revenge game angle, and his defense is gonna be better. His defense is gonna be better than the Chicago Bears offense, which is probably by far the worst offense in the league. And that's saying something because there's some bad offenses in this league. But even the Jets, Giants, and Dallas and the Jets with their backups have found a way to show something. The Bears have just been terrible on offense. So I'm gonna take the Houston to win and cover and the under, and I expect a couple defensive touchdowns because that cover 2 will be they'll play some games with that cover 2 against Justin Fields.
Moody, what was your total?
Under.
Under? Okay. I'm going with Houston because Davis Mills is apparently the best quarterback out of that class. All right, moving on. Jacksonville at LA facing the Chargers. Chargers -3.5 over under 42.5.
Honestly, I don't think this question can be answered until tomorrow, and we figure out whether Justin Herbert is playing or not. Because that makes my decision. If Herbert plays, Chargers by a lot. If Herbert does it, Jacksonville will take it.
I disagree. I think LAC wins no matter what because they got as long as Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa and J.C. Jackson and Derwin James finish the game, they'll give hell to Trevor Lawrence in that offense. I want to see if Christian Kirk gonna go off this week against this defense. But yeah, Justin Herbert plays, it's a blowout. And if he doesn't, they win by a touchdown. I think they just have a better overall team. Jacksonville will fight because they have some talented young players, but I think the Chargers, just the way they show their depth and their squad ability, winning a game like this with a backup quarterback or with a hurt quarterback. So I'll take LAC to win, cover, and I'll take the under.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers even with the backup, and I'll take the under as well. Moving on to Moody, I think this is the toilet bowl of the week. Atlanta at Seattle. Seattle favorite -1 over under 42.
Yeah, this is another just bad football game to watch. I'm sorry for all Atlanta and Seattle-based people who have to watch this. I'm glad the rest of the country probably does not. I doubt we'll be seeing a lot of this on Red Zone either. But Atlanta's a better football team, I think. I think they're better across the board on both sides of the ball. I think they're better coached as well. Seattle, they got their revenge against Russell Wilson. It's time for the tank. It's time to go get your quarterback. Atlanta has much less pressure on them to go to be good than Seattle does with Pete Carroll. So I'll take Atlanta to win, and I'll take the under.
Yeah, I actually think this is going to be a relatively competitive game. Two teams with underrated defenses and underrated offenses. Hopefully Seattle could find a way to get Geno Smith to get the ball to DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett because they have actually been pretty bad at getting the ball to their receivers. But I just believe it.
Who's surprised?
That Geno Smith isn't good?
Yeah, like what?
I hope that they could game plan some ways to get touches, to manufacture touches for the two best players on their team, but I guess not. I just believe in Atlanta's coaching. Atlanta's coaching is better. Atlanta's quarterback is better.
They're better across the board.
And their weapons might be better too. So yeah. I'm gonna take Atlanta to get the upset to cover. Over under is 40. 22. Oh, I gotta take the under because Seattle's gonna play a defensive style of football that'll keep that under going. And Atlanta likes to run the ball. This should be the fastest game of the day, under 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm taking Atlanta in the under as well. In my Panthers tank, I need Atlanta to win more games. So picking Atlanta. All right, let's keep it going. The game of the 4 o'clock slate: Green Bay at Tampa Bay. Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady. The Buccaneers are favored by 1.5 over under 42.
Yeah, this is probably going to be the ugliest game of the slate. Shockingly, that has Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers in it because no good receivers are playing. Sammy Watkins is on IR. Julio is out. Mike Evans is suspended. Chris Godwin. Tampa Bay's calling up Cole Beasley to play, and he joined the team Friday.
You talking about all-pro receiver Cole Beasley?
Who didn't have a job until September 23rd? Yeah, that Cole
Yeah.
Beasley. They got real problems on both teams here. I trust Tom Brady more than I trust Aaron Rodgers. That's basically how I'm making my selection here. There's no other nuance for me to really give you. I think the Bucs take it, and I'll take the over because Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers deserve a higher over than 40.
Yeah, when Moody said he trusts Tom Brady over Aaron Rodgers, he meant he trusts Tom Brady's defense over Aaron Rodgers' defense. Keep the train going of this Tampa Bay defense carrying Tom Brady to where he needs to be. They're going to keep it on cruise control and keep going along. Give me Tampa Bay easily to cover. Give me the under. This screams 21-10, 21-3. I don't think the Packers will do much. That Tampa Bay defense is going to carry Tom Brady all year, and everybody's going to be at the end of the day talking about how great of a winner Tom Brady is.
Yeah, this has probably been the toughest game for me to go back and forth with. I ended up on Tampa Bay and the under because of that defense, like you said. Keep it moving. LAR, the Rams visiting Arizona. Rams minus 3.5, over under 48.5.
Yeah, despite what Arizona did last week against the upset Las Vegas, they're still not a good football team. And I really don't think they're about to go in here and do a whole lot against a Rams team that has handled them the last 2 times they played them, including the playoffs. The offensive line issues aren't fixed. They have even less at receiver now. It's just good. I think it's big problems for Arizona here. Arizona's at home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So another home underdog. You really do hate to see it. There are a lot of bad football teams, especially in the NFC this year. And I think that'll continue. The defending champs go on the road and they take care of business. I'll take the Rams to cover and the under.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say both these teams are been sketchy offensively, sketchy defensively, but I think the Rams have more superstar power, better coaching, and unless Kyler Murray is going God mode like he did last week, Rams pull it out. Even if Matthew Stafford continues to turn the ball over, I'm sure Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey will force Kyler Murray into a couple turnovers to make up for that. But the Rams are the better overall team, just by a hair. But I can see the Cardinals putting up a fight. So over, I'll take Rams to cover, and I'll take the over because these teams like to play offense, and they're going to be turnovers and call touchdowns.
Yeah, I love the Rams in this spot. I think with the Cardinals with that comeback win last week, you're getting the Rams at another discounted price. So I'm going to take the Rams and I'm going to take the under. All right, Sunday Night Football, San Francisco going to Denver. What's with Denver getting all these primetime games? I don't understand.
They were supposed to be a good football team. Dangerous. Russell, let's
ride. Let's ride. Let's ride.
But,
whether it's a horse, a bike, a car, let's ride. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Denver looks awful. Their fans have to help them count down the play clock so they can get a playoff on time. They look absolutely disastrous on the opposite side of the ball. It's really stunning. The operation that Nathaniel Hackett, they lead the league in false start penalties. They lead the league in delayed game penalties. They've just been a discombobulated offense all around. And I think that's the perfect combination for San Francisco defense to take advantage of. Jimmy Garoppolo's back in the saddle, which I actually think makes San Fran a better team, a more complete team, a better chemistry team. So yeah, San Fran takes it here in prime time. They'll dominate the Denver offense and do enough on their side of the ball. I'll take the Niners in the end.
Another revenge game. I'm going to rock with the Niners. Kyle Shanahan to get revenge on his dad's former team. Jimmy Garoppolo will keep the offense going afloat. They'll run the ball. Russell Wilson and Denver will need another week to figure out what they're doing over there. I just don't trust the coaching at all. The coaching has from the beginning it looked sparingly bad. So give me the Niners to win, cover, and give me the over.
Yeah, I'm going with San Francisco as well. I just think they're a more experienced system than what Denver is throwing out on the field right now. So I'll go San Francisco and I will go the under. Yeah, the under 44.5. All right, boys, Monday Night Football. Dallas heading to the Giants. Giants are a favorite, -1 over under 39.
Oh, big surprise. A home team is a favorite against Cooper Rush. How shocking.
Vegas playing with y'all. That's the Cowboys fans moved that line. I'm going to be real and quick with this. I expect with the return of Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari for the Giants to whoop that ass on Monday night. I don't even expect it to be close. I've already got my parlay where I've teased it up to 9.5. I think Giants defense scores a touchdown. I think our offense gets in the end zone enough. And I just think Cooper Rush does nothing all day. Michael Parsons might have a good game, but it won't be on Andrew Thomas and it won't be on Evan Neal. It'll be blitzing from off-ball linebacker positions. I think the Giants have lucked into the right place, right time. We're not going to blow this opportunity. And that's why I've never put pressure on Daniel Jones to win games. But if he wants a future in New York, he has to win this game. No stupid turnovers. I believe that Coach Daboll will be coaching his ass off. And I think our coach is better. I think our team's healthier. And I think our defense is better. And that's saying something because the Cowboys actually have a defense that's been carrying them all year. But injuries to Ty Smith and Dak Prescott at the right time, right place, and this being a home game makes right for the Giants to win this game for the first time that it's been relevant in a long, long time. Give me the Giants to cover. Give me what's the over under? It's got to be low.
39.
Give me the under because this game not gonna be pretty. Yeah, he gave me what I needed.
Yeah.
This is the toilet bowl. This will be the worst played football game of the week. I don't even think people are understanding how ugly this is about to be. This is a night game in the Meadowlands, awful field, bunch of injuries across the board. This ain't gonna be fun for anybody to watch. I'm glad the whole world gets to see the NFC East playing with Cooper Rush and Daniel Jones. For the Giants, obviously getting Azeez and Kayvon Thibodeau back is huge, but they're missing Leonard Williams in the middle. That's a gigantic injury. They re-signed Jalen Smith because they have nothing at linebacker and they needed some insider secrets. So they're going with that there. Saquon Barkley has looked really good. He's leading the league in rushing right now. Although
second because Chubb already played. So
Chubb already played. Half of his rushing yards have come on 2 carries, a typical Saquon Barkley special. Overall, the Giants are probably the worst 2-0 team we've ever seen. But hey, they're 2-0. You got to give them credit. You got to give them credit for being 2-0. For the Cowboys,
that title actually goes to last year's Carolina Panthers, who went on to be the worst 3-0 team we ever saw. Don't tell me that, Cap. We saw a terrible 2-0.
Fair.
I don't need the ricochet shots in this segment.
the string. For the Cowboys, obviously we know what the injury issues are about. Dak Prescott and Tyler Smith are not out there, but that was not enough to stop them from busting up on Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Great performance from them on the offensive end, especially from the offensive line. You got to just be able to deal with zone coverage, and defensively, that's where me and Isaiah will have the big disagreement. The better defense is for the Dallas Cowboys because they have the best defensive player on planet Earth, and that's Michael Parsons. And that is the reason why I'm going to take the Cowboys to steal the victory out from underneath and ruin the hopes of the New York Giants season and let Philadelphia start their coasting to the NFC East title. We get it. Andrew Thompson's having a really, really good start to the year. Hasn't really played a legitimate pass rusher, in my opinion.
Bud Dupree and Brian Burns?
Who's
Brian Burns? Brian Burns is top 10.
We compared these guys to Michael Parsons. We compared these guys to Michael Parsons.
Brian Burns put up the same type of pass rush numbers as Michael Parsons.
Brian Burns is not in the same league stratosphere. He couldn't hold.
Be careful now, because if he ends up on the All-Pro list, then they understand.
Jockstrap. He can't hold.
If he ends up on the All-Pro list, then you will remember this. This will be on the cold tape.
Eric, you want to trade Michael for Brian Burns? Eric, would you like to do that deal?
Yes, please.
Yes, please. That's what I thought. Yeah. The better defense relies on that.
Yeah.
I think Trayvon Diggs will be able to jump a couple of plays because the Giants have nothing at receiver. The $72 million guy doesn't even see the field. Kadarius Toney is hurt. And I think that'll do enough for the Cowboys to be able to focus all their attention on Saquon and steal a victory on the road. I'll take the Cowboys to cover and the under this screen 16-15 with one touchdown, and whoever gets the touchdown will win the game.
Shocking.
This is a tough game. I think I'm gonna go Dallas to win this game. On the fact of Micah Parsons, honestly, I think he will make explosive plays, and Daniel Jones is. I don't know how much greater he is than Cooper Rush. I don't know how big of an advantage is Cooper Rush from Daniel Jones.
We'll see. I never seen Cooper Rush break no 80-yard runs.
Cooper Rush don't gotta play Micah Parsons. So it's not Cooper versus Daniel, it's DJ versus Mike. And I like Mike.
I like Thibodeau and Aziz making their returns. Watch out for a sneaky great game from Mr. Jahad Ward, who will be filling in that inside role for Leonard Williams. He's been doing a great job setting the edge. But yeah, this game's probably going to be sloppy and only exciting because my team's playing in it.
You take the under?
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Who would take the over? Who would take the over? Lastly, my lock of the week is the Chargers. I think they win with or without Justin Herbert because they're just better than Jacksonville.
I'll take for my lock of the week. I'll take the Chiefs over the Colts. The Colts are going to fight for their lives, but Gus Bradley has already came out and said they're going to do what they do, and that's play cover 3. And playing single high against Patrick Mahomes means you lose.
All right.
Yeah.
And my bold prediction.
Yeah, I already said mine for Las Vegas to be the lock.
Ooh, that's a bold one there. That's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be a good game. And my bold prediction, I already went with the Giants actually handling the Cowboys. I don't expect this game to be close. I expect the Giants defense to dominate this game and come show the national world how good this defense has the potential to be.
Okay, I'll go my bold prediction next. It's Tua. Tua will outplay Josh Allen, have more total yards, more total touchdowns, and he will win the football game and knock off the Buffalo Bills, the Super Bowl favorites. Tua.
Will he outplay him, or will Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle out-yak the receiver?
I ain't never see somebody throw 6 touchdowns and people be like, yeah, it was everybody else. It was everybody else. What's it Tua? Tua
Matt
had nothing
Flynn.
to do with it.
Matt Flynn.
In a Week 17 garbage game, not against Baltimore. He did that to the Lions. No one cares about what Matt Flynn did to the Lions in 2011. This is what Tua did to the hardball Ravens and Lamar Jackson a week ago.
What about when Mitch Trubisky threw 6 touchdowns against the Tampa Bay defense that led him to the Super Bowl the next year?
That was a long time. Jameis Winston was doing a lot of things. That was a defense that wasn't very confident. Once again, the Buccaneers, the Detroit Lions, that was the Baltimore Ravens we're talking about. When Joe Burrow was eating on the Baltimore Ravens, he was being crowned a top 5 quarterback. Tua deserves the same respect.
Yeah, Moody. I mean, it would have been everything that I've been a Tua hater, but my bold take was going to be the Miami Dolphins to get it because Jordan Poyer is out. They have some significant defensive guys out that I think the wide receiver core for Miami is just going to be amazing. But I will go Davis Mills will outperform another quarterback in his class, proving that he so far, even in year 2, can be the best quarterback in that class.
Is it bold if everybody believes Miami's going to win? We all picked Miami. How bold is it?
I picked
how bold
Tua
is it?
to outplay Josh Allen. I didn't not just Miami to win. I need the narrative to be the best quarterback on the field was Tua. That's the narrative that I'm looking for.
When we're done watching that game, that won't be the narrative. Nobody will be like, "Oh yeah, give me Tua over Josh Allen." Nobody will be like that.
I ain't saying that. I'm just saying for that 60 minutes they're going to be on the field together, Tua will be shown as the best quarterback that day, and that's all I need.
Oof.
Is that all? Is that all? All right.
Yeah.
Y'all remember to like, comment, subscribe, interact, share. It's a 5-tool process. It's that easy. Catch y'all later. Enjoy the football.